Hello, everybody. Welcome to the episode recap of Love and Hip Hop New York, episode number 8. It's your girls, Diana and Marley from the Fresh Mondays podcast with their special edition of the Love and Hip Hop Saga New York edition recap. You got to say saga because you know this is like a novela.
Telenovela. Love and Hip Hop.
Right.
Again, with the only shady crew that we got here, with the New York crew. This episode dives really deep. Just to hop right into it, was all about Tahiry, Joe, Jonathan, Erica, and Phresher. Right? We didn't really get to see much of everybody else on there. Who's missing? Remy.
I mean, honestly, I feel like Erica and Safaree have made this season so far. Like, they have been the primary storyline, and they're in every episode. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they keep it going in a way so far. I don't know what's going to happen the next couple of episodes, but they've been on every episode.
They're kind of like the center of it. Are they like the not the glue that keeps it together, but they're like they have everybody. They can make friends with everybody. They're connected to someone in every way or something like that, right?
Right.
Well, this episode opened up with Erica and Tahiry. And
Yes.
right to square one about Tahiry. And she mentioned Joe's name a lot, which I don't know what she was mentioning in between those words. I just heard the word Joe and Joey, as she calls him, come out often.
Right. I mean, shout out to how cute Erica looks pregnant. I'm going to give her some credit. She looked great. Like, that little leather outfit, mad cute with her little belly. Like, women wish they can look like that when they're pregnant. So I'm going to give credit when credit is due. She looks really cute pregnant, honestly.
She actually does. She really does. And I feel like she's been pregnant for a very long time. And I'm sure pregnant women hear this all the time.
Right.
Like, girl, you've been pregnant for forever. But I feel like Erica's been pregnant for forever.
Yeah.
For sure. For her. But she's super cute. We learned in this moment where Erica and Tahiry meet up at the baby store that Jonathan was not an actual +1.
Right.
He was a last minute show up, pop up, added to the gift that Yandy brought kind of deal, which I found was interesting because he was calling up.
Have you ever wanted to crash a wedding?
I would love to. like you know, you have like those Facebook friends, like friends you knew in high school and like all that stuff, but you low key aren't friends. You're not friends with them anymore, like close, but you low key want to still be invited to the wedding,
right?
Like,
I love me a wedding. I'm not gonna lie, I love me a wedding. It's a good time. It's always a good time.
I love it. It is free food, open bar if you go to the right wedding.
Right. I mean, who doesn't have an open bar? All the types of shade I'm throwing right now. Like, who doesn't have an open bar at the wedding? Let's be honest.
People who have small and intimate weddings on a budget. But don't invite me if you don't have a big ass wedding.
I apologize in advance if I'm not in an economic situation that I invite you to my wedding, Marley, and I don't have an open bar. I'm letting you know right now, it is like anti-Dominican to not have an open bar. Let's be honest.
Well, do you still give a gift of money if they don't have an open bar?
Oh my God, that's terrible. Like, people don't give the gift for the open bar. You give the gift because you're going to celebrate someone's union.
No. Did that sound terrible?
I'm saying, though, it's not an exchange, bitch. Like, you're coming to celebrate me.
No. You're right. But usually the gift that you give someone is money as a wedding gift, right? Yo, in my younger years, though, people invited me to weddings. I showed up with a picture frame because I was 18 and it was like, ain't nobody got $100 to give you. Right. You're getting this picture frame. Anyways, you're supposed to show up with cash. Regardless, we learned.
I mean, unless like the registry is like really important. But yes, most likely, I personally want paper or plastic if I get married. I don't have no time for no toaster. Like, I need you to give me some paper or plastic. Okay.
My friends literally had game boards on their wedding registry because they had already everything they wanted.
Oh, how sweet and modest.
Right. I was humble. Like, oh, you will get these dominoes. Because that's fine with me. And then I went creative. Anyways, I digress. Jonathan was not originally invited, which I think kind of shows us that he's just the continuation of stirring up the pot everywhere he goes.
It's not his fault if Yandy said to come with him. And of course, I'm a go because I'm a chimoso. Like, I understand. You feel me? Like, I want to
Mm.
be here. This is like a moment. This is like an event. People want to be here. And from what we've gathered, Erica and Safaree throw really amazing parties. I think that's the reoccurring message that we keep getting, that everybody keeps saying that they do a really good job at hosting parties. So if I'm in that circle, I would like to go to a party that's good. So I can understand why he jumped on that offer, because Yandy probably didn't want to go alone.
Yeah. Okay. Valid. You just don't crash weddings, though. I think that's, at this day and age, it's just not something we do.
I was totally digging his outfit though. Like, seriously, I
Oh, he
really
looks
liked his
amazing.
look. He looked really good for the wedding.
He
Honestly, really
might
mean
be the
that.
best dressed in the entire. Well, him and Joe. Jim, I haven't seen Jim's outfits.
Yeah, but like,
Safari's
okay, I'm gonna
extra.
categorize it. I feel like Jonathan dresses well, like well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Joe Buttons has this whole like, I
I'm
need to
figuring
shake
it out.
look
Oh.
all the time. And like sometimes it's like, yo, Joe, like I want more for you, you know? Like, right. And then Jim Jones is like a hood dude, so he's like hood cute.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
I
it's like
see. I see where
three
you're going there.
different looks. And then Safari's just like
A
extra,
lot extra. Extra, extra.
straight,
Straight.
extra.
Okay. After that, we are then taken to Phresher and his wife. Which again, every time she shows up on the screen, I don't know what she's mad at. My
I
I wish her
mean,
the best.
now we know what she's mad at based on this episode. Like, this woman deliberate it's like in a straight relationship with your man while you guys were, I guess, were on a break. And like now she's explaining to you that he owes her hella money. Like, I feel like I would have a real problem with this if I was like his wife or whatever she is.
Yeah, that's $70,000 is a, let someone show up at my door telling me somebody, my significant other, owes 70,000.
That's like enough to get a divorce with somebody. Real shit.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Come
That's
on. Like, that's
like
like not even play money. That's like real shit. That's
yeah,
like
that's like
divorce money.
gambling money almost,
Mm-hmm.
almost as if you were using gambling, like those kind of things. But what's different about this is that he had a relationship with her, with the girl. We later in the episode see that this young lady Jada kept all the tabs, loves an Excel spreadsheet, as most women do, had the formulas on that shit, calculated it out, and said, you.
Oh shit.
And he said, how about we work this out? He said it like he was calling a debt collector and said, let's work this out.
He said, listen, Capital One.
I need a settlement. Let's put a settlement on this. And he decided he can only do 40, 35. He kept running her down. A
Yo, the
full
things that
negotiation.
women do when they feeling a guy just blows my mind, yo.
Well, he admitted that he mismanaged her, so that he is at fault for this. Um,
You know she wouldn't have done that if she wasn't fucking him. You know that,
yes,
right?
exactly. Good
Like,
point.
actual facts. And
Good
it's like,
point.
it's a mistake that we as women all do, that we have not overcome this yet. Like, when you are having sex with a guy, it just skews your judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Get cloudy. You don't really think clear. And it's like, that's why I'm a strong believer that you don't have sex with people you do business with, because
Mm-hmm.
it's just like your head is not where it should be. And I think the reason this woman did that much bullshit is because she was fucking him,
Yeah,
honestly.
she wanted her career, and she because you're fucking him, you start trusting people
Exactly.
because you've already given that up. So you
Mm-hmm.
think that they're not gonna hurt you, but there he goes, hurting you.
Mm-hmm.
So his wife is right to kick him out. He's living with his grandma or his mom or something like that. Um, and we'll see where it goes from here, because he did admit to her that he did like her or love her, something along those lines.
He's still lying. He was
Mm,
lying that whole scene, and it's like, look, I don't know that storyline enough, but I've known enough to see that this chick should definitely like let this go, because this
yeah,
is like not a good idea.
she's gonna have to take it at a loss. That seventy
Mm-hmm.
thousand. Sometimes those things, like when it comes to money and you've been hurt, blah blah blah. After a while, you have to mark it as a loss because you're not gonna get that back anytime soon. You're
Right.
just not receiving that back at all. So we have to just mark it as a loss and
It's a
pick it back up.
L. It's
It's
a
an
L.
L. This is my favorite part of the episode. Jim Jones and Joe went to a cooking class to meet up, which I think is super, super cute.
Hard eyes.
But
Mad cute.
16 years too late for Jim Jones.
Yeah.
He said he has never cooked for Chrissy before in the 16 years we've been together. You're talking about boiling an egg? That's never happened in 16 years?
I know, but you know what? At the end of the day, not everyone cooks. It's not a gender thing. Not
True.
everyone cooks.
True.
Okay, so
True, true,
let's
true.
let's 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 get to the 2020 new millennium. Women don't cook too. You feel me? So it happens. But honestly, I'm a sucker for shit like that. I like it when like a man like does something and creates a gesture to show that he cares. I think it's really sweet. I'm one
Mm-hmm.
of those girls that type of stuff kind of works on me. I'm like, oh my God, you cooked for me. I love it. So it's like, I'm one of those softies that I like gestures. So I thought it was cute that he's kind of making an effort. I think it's cute.
He definitely only made one dumpling by the time he met with Chrissy. He didn't make it very far in his training, his culinary training whatsoever. In their conversation, Chrissy lets Jim know. I don't know how the conversation came up about this
He
wedding
said, he
marriage.
said, I want to marry you.
And he has his engagement ring on still.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice that, the one she gave him. I forgot she proposed to him, and then later he proposed to her.
Right.
And to me, that's a lot of proposing, and that means you're already married. Because what's the where do you go from there? You've each proposed to each other, and it's been 16 years in total.
I'm really curious as to why she doesn't want to get married.
When you're already comfortable, when you're already in it, in the setting, there's no point.
I think she's smart, and I don't think that that's why she wouldn't. That's why I'm curious, because it's like she's the type of woman that she knows she manages her risk to reward.
Mm-hmm.
That's how she is, and I respect her for that. Especially now that she's moving money and she's really coming out here and like making moves and doing real estate. I don't know nothing. This is just
Mm-hmm.
me 100% coming up with a theory out my ass. But is it possible that it's not good business for her to be married to a person that has a lot of liabilities the way he does?
Quite possibly because he already put the house in foreclosure once.
Right.
So
So
we've already
why
been here before. Like it's more of a damage to her than it is. Yeah, it could ruin. She's probably thinking strategically in a business stance.
it has to be, because at the end of the day, your husband's debt is your debt. Your
Mm-hmm.
wife's debt is your debt. So it's like, do you really want to trust him now also with your financial freedom? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like you trust him with everything else, but should I make this risky decision with a man that's not 100% legit in life? I don't know. I don't know.
It's a smart move. I guess we'll look into it. We'll see if there's no wedding special.
Right.
I guess this is just the way it is. By the way, Mona owes us a Safaree and Erica wedding special because there's a lot of like deleted scenes showing up and like they posted all their pictures and stuff. And you're just like, where was all this? Like, this is missing. Like, there's really it looks really nice. And I think VH1 dropped the ball on that one to
Right.
really
They
make it
usually
about
do
that.
wedding specials for all these reality shows, so you're right.
Yeah. I guess they didn't work that contract very well. Speaking of those two again, Safaree threw Erica a birthday party, and being the narcissist that I think he is, he posted all photos of himself. And being the narcissist that she is, she was upset. There is no pictures of her.
I mean, why are there pictures of you all over the walls at my birthday party? Like, I think I would ask the same question. Like, it's like, why is it? It doesn't have to be pictures of me, but why are there pictures of you?
Right. Like, we're,
Weird.
I thought we were celebrating me, but
Right.
on that, at Erica's birthday party, oh, we did miss one piece. So we thought Sin had a new man. Somebody was going to come out at her apartment. She was just in the lingerie, and now comes Jonathan in pajamas, which is still super cute. But in this conversation, um, Sin says, he starts talking about Tahiry. Jonathan does a fantastic imitation of Joe Budden. And um, Sin says she doesn't respect Tahiry as a woman.
think the context before we blow that up is that she was saying that why is Tahiri now acting like there's a possibility between Joe and her, not on some jealous shit, but because she was dragging his name for many years and now this guy is a candidate. Like it's like she's saying it on some shit like you're fake, bitch. Like you were literally saying this guy ain't shit and now he is shit. You know, I think that's how I interpreted what she was saying.
Okay, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. And you're right, because the moment, but in the same way, Sin also recently has says it was a toxic relationship. I got myself out of there, blah, blah, like in that same setting. They both said technically the same things and both want the
Yeah.
same person back in return,
Hmm.
interestingly enough. From there, we learned that Erica Mena wants Sin and Jonathan at the birthday party,
Mm-hmm.
and they're both presently there.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like I don't know what happened, what triggered Tahiri, what made her kind of explode, but she kind of exploded there. I think she wanted to have a discussion, but nobody knew what the discussion was supposed to be about. It was a little bit weird, that whole scene.
I think that Tahiri's having a real emotional reaction to the Joe environment and being in his presence again. And I think that she low key might feel a little bit of a way towards Sin. And she ain't gonna necessarily say that because she knows she ain't got no ground to stand on. But
Mm.
I think she feels away a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if we're gonna be petty like women, it's like, you know, Sin won. You know what I mean? Sin had a kid
Yeah,
with him. She has a
yeah.
bigger position than she does will ever have because they have a child together. And you know, Joe is choosing her at least publicly. Us
It's like she one
beyond
upped her,
no, like he has made it clear that he is choosing his
the mother of his child.
healthiness with his baby mother
Mm-hmm.
versus any kind of old relationship with Tahiri.
Yeah.
Whether or not they get back together officially or not, he has made it very clear that he's choosing his child and his baby mother above all else.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's a win for her, for Sin, and that could be hurting Tahiri's ego.
True. Yeah, it's actually a good valid. Also, to point out, Tahiri has a mysterious illness. We're not sure something of that. So that also may balance. And I think it showed us for next week
Oh
that she goes to her
Lord.
doctor's visit and she has a breast exam. So there is this being pushed and pulled. We do hope everything is all right, but we know for exaggeration, they'll drag it along for a little bit time.
She's just
Um,
trying to get sympathy. I'm not trying to be cruel, but I feel like I can share something about myself. I as a woman, I've had a test at the GYN and they feel a lump and they're like, "Hey, let's get this examined and let's see what's going on just to be
mm-hmm,
safe."
mm-hmm,
And you know, thank God nothing is wrong with you, but your doctor takes precaution to make sure that
at all
everything is
times.
okay at all
Yeah.
times. And you don't need to be crying on the bridge when your doctor says we need to do a second test. Like that's bitch, you a woman. Like this
Let
type of
her
shit we
cry.
go through. Like it's like
Let her cry in peace. Let her cry.
bitch,
Let her
please.
do the
Like
thing.
you are a woman, bro. Like you know how many times a woman has had like a pap smear, not to get very, very technical, and that shit don't come back right and women have to
No,
take
of
another
course.
pap smear. Like
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be insensitive. What I'm saying is like it's not meant for all of this. It's like, God forbid, something is wrong with you and you're not sure. You're gonna come home and you're gonna cry to your family and your kids. No, every woman is gonna first find out what's going on
Mm-hmm.
before you go crazy. Because sometimes it's just precaution to make sure everything's okay. You know what I mean? Like that's not how women work.
No, of
I don't
course.
know.
You're absolutely no. You're right. You're right. I get what you're saying. Crying on the bridge. I'm done. Listen, these scene setups be having me all the time. Somebody said they didn't know that Dykeman Inwood was the hotspot for all these scenes. I was like, all the clubs in Dykeman are the clubs and lounges are the hotspots for this
I
whole
mean, Uptown has
entire
nice
series.
views, guys. Don't
It
hate on
does.
Uptown. They have
It
nice
does.
views.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Um I just can't get over. This episode was better than before. Like
It
I think it's
was.
building up. We
Mm-hmm.
do see that next week Olivia is present.
That's the
I'm
only thing I thought of when I saw her. I'm like, oh my God, Marley's gonna finally be so excited that they're finally bringing Olivia back on.
yeah, because I need to know what's happening. I need to know what's going on. Olivia's back. Rich Dollars gets cursed out, which is always fantastic. And we're just excited to see what happened next.
Mm-hmm.
I, you know, the Tahiri's only storyline is Joe, so I'm interested to see how this finalizes, how this clears out, because it's just
I
gonna be
love
dragged.
me, I love me some Jonathan saying, "I don't want to hurt your feelings. Don't get me started."
I'm gonna take that
Shade.
L on
Mm-hmm.
that stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Any closing statements for this episode?
I think I like that. First of all, shout out to the fact that Olivia is what, 40? How old is Olivia?
I don't know. I think everybody's 40, girl.
She looked good.
Yeah, she
No
looks fantastic.
shade. She looks really good. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, you look the same. Like
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. And that blonde hair looks really good on you. Like,
Looks
is this your
super
real hair?
nice. Yeah, I
Like,
like
is that
that.
her real hair?
Probably, because
It
it
has
looks
to be because it's
amazing.
consistent. She has
Yeah,
consistently had her hair looking like that all the
all the
time. And
time.
yeah, she looks great. I feel like you look great. I don't know how old you are, but she looks great. And I'm excited because I love to hear like industry shit. Like when people, you know, don't get paid what they should have gotten paid. And like you're like, word. Like, I don't know, I find shit like that
She got
interesting.
a spreadsheet also, just like Jada had a spreadsheet for Phresher. Olivia has a spreadsheet laid out
Hmm.
for Rich Dollars. You know who else is coming back? Samaya Reese. And
What
if
is her
you're in
storyline again?
we don't know. I don't know.
But what
But she
happened
was
originally?
she's season 1.
Oh, isn't she like a really hood Hispanic girl?
She's Ecuadorian. Yeah,
Okay. And she's like La
she
Jefa?
La Jefa. Then, but
Mm-hmm.
now she's like, she lost a lot of weight. She's super, super tiny. She got a tea, drink, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
fitness. I don't even think she raps anymore.
Okay.
The Maya Reese used to be popping back in the
I
MySpace
remember.
days.
I remember,
That's a
yeah.
MySpace days kind of
That was a
shit.
long
So
time ago.
it's a
Yeah.
long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Long time ago. So that should be Mona is doing this whole 10-year,
Oh my God, you
bringing
know what
back
else is
your
exciting?
what?
Jim Jones being on the Joe Budden's podcast.
Yes,
Yeah, they said that he's gonna be on it. That's gonna be a good interview.
that's a good one. I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited to hear that. That's
Mm-hmm.
two worlds clashing. I like that. Well, guys, this was our take on this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami. Not Miami. See, it's on I'm watching it on the side here. Love and
Isn't it?
Hip.
I feel like the Love and Hip Hop Miami looks like a train wreck. Like I'm not even gonna get into it.
First of all, they're all supposed to be train wrecks. Second, I catch Miami like clips here and here, so I don't know what's actually happening. I just hear Mara La Negra's voice all the time, and I just be like, I need to turn this down because it's a lot sometimes for me.
It's a little trashy for me.
It's not. I haven't watched it. I haven't sat with it
Mm-hmm.
yet, and I like watching the clips sometimes on Instagram just to be like, oh, that was great, and move
Mm-hmm.
on. But guys, this was another episode of Fresh Mondays podcast presents to you Love and Hip Hop Talk podcast, where me, Marley, and Diana just recap and talk shit about this season 10 that Mona Scott has us addicted to. Not addicted, interested in, intrigued in.
It's enough to talk about.
Enough to talk about. If
Mm-hmm.
you have any thoughts, questions, suggestions, comments, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Fresh Mondays Podcast, on Twitter, Fresh Mondays Podcast, on Facebook, Fresh Mondays Podcast, and leave us your thoughts and your comments and what you thought before we leave, before we wrap up. What are your thoughts and what do you think Rihanna was saying to Chrissy at the Rock Brunch, the Rock Nation Brunch?
Um, I think it was something about Jim Jones for sure. And I think it
Mm.
was something along the lines like I know your nigga crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like awesome, like I get it. Like that type of vibe. Like
I
I get it.
loved that you can tell Rihanna watches this.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like her break moment. Like it's just sitting in the background. She's watching, she's watching clips. She is in it just like we are. Like where you're
Mm-hmm.
like not invested but invested enough to be like, let me see you right quick. Let me tell you something about yourself.
She might
So
watch it like, while she's waiting at an airport. She's still a human being. You know what I mean?
right. Like she's on a
Mm-hmm.
plane on her jet,
Mm-hmm.
private, laid out and watching the show. So shout outs to bad gal Riri. for
Mm-hmm.
watching the show. Shout out to everybody who commented on, like, she telling her to not trust Kim Bella. She telling her
Right.
to not marry Jim. So shout
Yeah.
outs to y'all who were in our comments about that picture. That was a great captured moment. Whoever captured that,
For
because her
sure.
arms were crossed and everything. She was not
Mm-hmm.
having it. Then again, don't forget to follow us on all platforms, and you should be subscribed to this channel that you're watching, and you should be subscribed to this channel that you're listening to us on. All things Fresh Mondays podcast. Again, you can follow me at Love Marley, LUVMARLEY _, and you can follow Diana.
And I am Diana C _. And make sure to comment, repost, retweet, hit us up, DM us, and let us know what your thoughts are. And most importantly, let's take a moment to just pay respect to a legend.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, and to your beautiful daughter. We're still in shock. We're all mourning, and we send our prayers to your family,
Yes.
to your loved ones, to your children, and to your wife. We can only imagine what it feels like.
Yes. Thank you guys for listening, and have a good Monday.